Hi friends, this is Meg at Chasing Retro. I'm continuing my little mini series, I guess, of showcasing some of the journals in my own personal collection. Today I'm going to show you 3 of them. The first one is one of the very first junk journals I made, probably late 2021, early 2022, that I decided to keep. I made 3 in that series, or maybe 4. I made 2 60s themed and 2 70s themed, and I kept one of the 70s for myself. The second one is a journal that I purchased from Etsy from a seller who I don't think is selling anymore. I'll link her shop nevertheless if I can find it. And the third one is a journal that was made for me, specifically for me, by one of my sweet viewers and supporters. It was an absolute surprise. She sent it to me this past spring, and I wanted to flip through it again with you because I know many of you are new to my channel since then and have not seen that video probably. So we will start with the first one. This is the one that I created early on in my junk journaling journey. This is a 70s journal. It is a very chunky one. I used to make all of my Reader's Digest books this thick. I don't do that quite anymore because it is very difficult to write in them when they're this narrow, but so thick, I found anyway. This is made out of a Reader's Digest, like I said, and it's sort of like a olive green or pea green stripe, which honestly to this day I have not seen any more with this pattern when I'm yard sailing and such, but it is tied with a piece of sari silk that I got out of a chindi rug, and it was one of the ones that came out in a pretty good amount that wasn't ripped, and it was equal size all the way down, so I used it. And the spine, this is not vintage fabric, it's just a brown polka dot, and then I put some maize yellow rickrack. And surprisingly, this one is not a gator mouth. And I really need to go back and look at these carefully because a lot of the ones that I make now are gator mouths. And I need to figure out, I need to do page counts again because maybe subconsciously I've been putting more pages in it than I used to. It's just a good idea to go back and review over time to see how we can better our process. But it's also a good bit more flexible than some of the ones that I make now. And I think back then I used to leave a little more space between, when I'm making the cover, I would leave a little bit more space between the covers and the spine. That may make my new ones that I make now, I'm putting it closer together just because I feel like it would hold together better. But maybe that's contributing to the gator mouth. I don't know. So the front has a sewing pattern image sewn down onto cardstock and then another piece of cardstock. This is, I think it's the Echo Park Groovy 70s paper pack. And I used multicolored variegated thread. I think it's like a fluorescent thread to go around. This is a fairly sparse journal compared to some of the newer ones. Like now, when I make a journal, I always put a pocket here and I always put a pocket here, but I left this one as is. I think I was going to do some sort of a book plate or cover image here, and I never did. Here's a little tuck spot made with some of that groovy paper, and then I have a digital of a paper doll on top. And this is cut out from a Nature's book. And this is a digital that I purchased off of Etsy. And this is some paper that I used, I believe it was an onion bag as a template or a stencil of sorts, and I used one of those makeup sponges and I sponged acrylic paint, and it turned out really neat, I thought. And then I had just bought this eyelash trim at a craft reuse store in North Carolina when I made this, so I used this throughout all the 70s journals. This is from a sewing book. I thought this looked very 70s with the caning on the headboard and the peach quilt. Little fabric ruffle. I'm still using the variegated thread. I guess that I use that throughout. Science book. This is, I think this is a stamp I used acrylic paint, and I used a piece of corrugated cardboard that the top layer was taken off, so you have the bumps. That's what I did on this, and I love the way that turned out. This is a wallpaper digital image from Tailor Made Journals, I believe. I say that, it might have been Little Bendy, which I believe now is Johanna Klo. It might have been hers. Those are the two wallpaper digital kits that I own from both of those makers. And then this is a library pocket made from a science book page. That's really cool. I have not made one this big in a long time. I'm just gonna let the clock go. I'm telling you, I time it perfectly every time. 5 minutes before an hour, I start a video. Here is some green eyelash trim, and I used my Scan and Cut and cut out some SVGs. My blade went dull shortly after this, and then my mom gave me a newer version of a Scan and Cut that she no longer used. So I got rid of the old one, and I have the new one now, and I have a new mat and a new blade. Would you believe I haven't gotten it out since then? I really need to mass make some die cuts like that. This is just a little journaling card with some scrapbook paper and a vintage dryer sheet ad from a 70s magazine. Here is some coffee dyed paper, and this is my first attempt at dyeing paper with coffee. You can see the lines from the drying rack that I used. Here is another cutout. This was extremely hard to glue down, putting glue on all of these little things without bending it. Another sewing book page. This is a doily that I painted with acrylic paint. I don't do this anymore. I think it makes it feel weird. It feels kind of plasticky. And I'm not sure how it would write, but I have decided not to do that anymore. I do like dyed doilies, like or sprayed, but the painting of acrylic paint didn't really suit my fancy. This is from a child's health book. Here is, this is an actual newspaper ad from a newspaper my grandma had at the bottom of her cedar chest. Do y'all remember Myers Arnold department store? And these kind of bags are back in style now, so I thought that was kind of neat. Time card with butterflies and a little mini notebook made with an ad. I don't remember what that was advertising. Just some little scrap pieces in here. I had to put a Kmart price sticker in my personal journal because Kmart, when I think of 70s, I think about Kmart and Zare, which is another store we had and went to often. Embroidery page. I think this is one of those embroidery and crafts magazines from McCall's, I want to say, that came out in the 70s. Oh, here's a 70s colored yo-yo. So yeah, I've forgotten that you can embellish a page with a yo-yo. No, they're a little pricey. I typically don't do that anymore, but it is a good idea. Brown seam binding lace that I put on the edge. Here's a flip. This is actually from a fall paper pack from Michael's. And this also. And this is the same digital kit from Etsy. And a paper doll. And a card out of a magazine for a rose catalog. A little tiny 70s car on a stamp from Romania. This fabric flip I thought was really fun. I love this fabric right here because it's tie-dyed, but then it's almost like a negative image. So there's not a back and a front. It's just the same on both sides. I thought that was cool. Oh, that's a belly band. So we have another paper doll and another paper doll. And then I have, this is from one of those little recipe brochures that you would does it open? Yeah. That you would get, you know, in a grocery store a long time ago, or maybe tucked into a package of brownie mix or something like that. They don't really do those a whole lot anymore, I don't think. I haven't seen one in a while. This is a science book. Wallpaper. A double pocket. Playing card. She is a Sewing Pattern Lady digital. I was just using punch circles to decorate. That's fun. This is a scan. It's in my Ko-fi shop. This is a scan of a vintage tea towel that my grandma embroidered. Little turtle and a mushroom. And then this is from one of the Better Homes and Gardens binders, one of the divider cards. I loved making cards and tags out of this, and would you believe, the only thing I can figure happened is I had a bunch of these in a stack of things that I think I threw away. So I had like 12 or 15 more of these yellow divider cards, and they're gone. Like, this happened early on, and I had a little grieving process because at that time I had no more binders. So that was my last stash of those. Here is a shaker card. I didn't put much glitter in them back then. This is from a children's book from the late 70s, early 80s, I think, about a little boy that invents. He has a big imagination, and he invents something in his garage. Oh, this is a First Lady's coloring book, and these are the President's Wives from the 70s. And here is some Ziggy wallpaper. I think someone sent this to me in Happy Mail, or I got it at a yard sale, one of the two. I had an amazing yard sale about this time and found some amazing things at it. This is tea or coffee dyed lace. This is a really tall edge of page ad that I loved. So I backed it with coffee dyed paper and then folded it in half and put a fun stitch. It's not fluorescent, it's 70s colors. I remember buying this now. I love using variegated thread. And then I put some 70s phrases in here with my Dymo labeler. Here is another library pocket. I need to mass make these. This is a paint chip, and I just sewed the back of it instead of putting paper on the back. And I don't really love that, but for some reason I did on this one. And then this is a Sewing Pattern digital. This is from a cookbook, one of those cookbooks called the Nitty Gritty Productions. You've probably seen them. They're very long and wide, but they have really cool fonts and illustrations in them. This is from a book that I found at a yard sale, at a university yard sale, and it was like, I really don't remember what it was called. Basically like stick-built houses, the ones that were very architecturally popular in the 70s. People built them in the middle of the woods. You know what I'm saying? I'm not thinking of the right word. This is a piece of stationery out of a notebook that I had forever from Chronicle Books. Chronicle Books has the best blank books and designed pages in them. If you ever see a Chronicle Books assortment of those at a yard sale or thrift store, grab it. This is from a sewing book. I love it. Here's a paper clipped item. So this is about the time I learned how to make altered paper clips. I was very excited about this. Little Wheat Thins box. My grandma always had Wheat Thins in her cabinet. And so much when we were kids, we called them grandma crackers. It was a long time before I knew they were actually called Wheat Thins. And this, I learned how to make this from a tutorial from Lace Covered Skies. I don't think she's making videos anymore. I'll link her channel because you can go back and watch a backlog. She's so creative and very thrifty with using up every little piece of a vintage magazine or book. And she taught us how to make these acetate window envelopes, and then you can unwind the string and put things in it, but mine's blank. This is an ad for Maxwell House. Do they even still make Maxwell House? Here is a stamp from South Africa. Pineapple ad. I just loved the font, and I was like, this is going to be a full page ad. So sometimes I'll do that. I'll glue something down and then just that is the page. And in this case, it was a nice way to cover up the little, I think this was Hobby Lobby, and it had the name of the paper and the price. You can just cover that over. Yeah, this was for an ad for makeup for powder and foundations. Better Homes and Gardens. I didn't cover this up. So normally when I have wallpaper now, I'll do like a side pocket or something to cover up that print. But it's a really cool vertical stripe in a gold. This is packing paper right here. Nope, this is not packing paper. This is the Ziggy. I do like to use the Amazon packing paper if it's not too crushed up. Recently, my Amazon deliveries, the paper has just been crinkled beyond use, but it's okay. And last and third signature. Here's another one of those 70s pages. And another wallpaper digital. I love the coffee dyed eyelet. Side pocket, we have a sewing pattern lady. Isn't that fun? And this is a dried flower from my yard. It's actually a weed. And I just put it in a little frame. And this is from a sewing catalog or instruction book. This is some wallpaper, wrapping paper from the 70s, as you can tell. I love it. And this is brayered acrylic on filler paper. This is a children's songbook. This is an adult coloring book. And what is that? This might be a Tim Holtz wallpaper, and I love it. I wish I had more of this. Oh my goodness. I haven't seen that since I made this journal, and I'm like, must have more. This is another scan and cut design. This is an ad. So my parents had one of these 8mm cameras when I was growing up, so I have videos of me as a baby and a toddler. So I wanted to chronicle that in this book. And then this is a tag made with that same wrapping paper. Purple ruffle. This is one of my earliest patchwork pockets. I use an index card as a base. I love those. And then lots of stuff in here. We have, this is like an index divider tab. I know this is from a greeting card. I remember it. And then more of that 70s paper, and I put some gold. And this is from a book about needlepoint. When do I only sewed 3 sides of that? I might have run out of thread and just decided to leave it. For journals that you keep for yourself, sometimes you do that. Also, I keep forgetting that I have a punch that punches these. And I always use stickers now, but it's a nice reminder to go, you know what, Meg, you have a punch. You should use it for cardstock, because then you can make patterned hole reinforcers with patterned paper. Crochet book page. Solid. Okay, here's some washi tape that I probably reinforced with glue to make a tip-in pocket. This is another digital from my shop. Oh, this is a multi-layered pocket. How fancy. This is a scan of some placemats that my mom had in the 70s when I was growing up into the 80s. I think we had the orange and we also had brown. And now on my table, I'm looking at it right now, I have an olive green. I still find these occasionally in thrift stores and I love them. And then we have a 70s ad from an airline. And just more fun tags. I need to do more of these, seriously. And this was a cutout of a mushroom that I put some white, looks like white paint pen in there. These are fun pockets. I need to make more of them. Okay. This is an old legal pad page. I like putting images like this in the center. Sometimes I forget to do that. This is before I was making my typical center double pocket that I sort of just do without thinking of now. I just do it without batting an eye. Here's a paint chip pocket. Sadly, our home improvement store quit carrying this style, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to make more of those. This is near where I used to live. I found a price ticket for, or not a price ticket, but like a stock ticket for Far Yarns in McAdenville, North Carolina. McAdenville is known for their extensive Christmas light display, and they have a lighting ceremony every year, and I've actually been to it a couple times. This is a piece of vintage sheet. This is also a lace-covered skies idea. She put vintage sheet pieces on top of coffee dyed paper and then put just a little a brad, and sews around it, and it's just brilliant but cute. I need to do that too. I hope you guys are getting as many ideas from these as I am. I just cannot get over what I forget over time. This is a rub-on decal from Dollar Tree right there. A double pocket. Relax, just put it on a charge card. I love it. This is right after I got my circle punches. Obviously, I was using them a lot. A Rolodex card with butterflies cut out of gift wrap. And a slide, because growing up, we also did photographs turned into slides a lot. And I love the crinkle paper. This is Groovy, which is a little bit out of the 60s, but that's okay. And another page from the 70s paper kit. Another ad from the newspaper for mall cleaners, and a little tiny coin envelope, which I always forget I have, and I put a little tiny piece of index card in here. Is that not so cute? And I still use these little paper daisies. I love them. Here's another altered paper clip, and is there anything in here? Okay, there's a negative in here. So this is a vintage Kodak when you would order negatives or order prints from a negative. And I just love that. I kind of miss those days, having to wait for pictures instead of just instant. Okay, that was the 70s journal. Love it. I never wrote in it. I don't know why. But I love having it on my shelf and looking at it. It just makes me happy. Okay, the next one is the one that I ordered. This was the first journal purchase I ever made on Etsy. And, oh, it's large. I'm gonna have to raise this up. It was made by a lady who owned a shop named Eleanor's Ephemera Shop. And I had my eyes on it for quite a while, and just decided one day, you know what, I'm gonna buy it. I wanna say that the cover is created from a table runner, and it had all of the beautiful 70s colors that I loved. So this was already done. And then she pieced it, like right here, you can see she pieced it a little bit to create the size of journal that it needed to be. And then this is a doily or a tablecloth, either one, that she cut and stretched out across the spine, and then she sewed on by hand buttons in various colors and some pieces of felt. That looks like a banana, doesn't it? I love the flower buttons. And then here she has just this little applique glued down, And then it's tied with a gingham. It feels like a napkin maybe because it has the serged edge. And then she has sewn. I used to do this too with ties. She just did a zigzag, probably to prevent extra fraying. And there's the serged edge. All right, this one is literally eye candy. I cannot wait to show you guys if you have not seen this flip through. And you may not have because it was like 3 years ago. This beautiful piece of trim. I love this so much. I've never seen anything like this. And this is a vintage sheet. I never see sheets like this when I thrift. This is a tally with numerous sheets in it. And a little paper pocket that she's sewn down. And a vintage button card. And another piece of vintage fabric that she just sewed down as an embellishment. This is on engineering graph, it looks like. A little, I'm assuming Kool-Aid dyed envelope. And then in here we have this adorable little tot taking a picture and some jacquard trim. And this, let's see if I remember. She's got this stapled. She has some of these little notepads like this just stapled throughout for journaling space. This is a schematic of some sort. And then she has this, looks like from a children's dictionary, glued down. A plant guide page, plain white page. This is a little, just a little cluster with Care Bears, looks like gift wrap, on a book page, and then buttons with lace. And it was holding this bag closed. And this just has a little flip pad with engineering paper. The colors in here are so happy. Some more of that yellow gingham with some eyelet. A little, looks like a pants pocket shaped pocket, and it says gummed labels, which I had none of at that point. And they're just little jar labels for preserves and things. Pickles and strawberries. Love that. Filler paper that's one-sided. That's interesting. Here's a postcard. Vintage poster design. It's beautiful. So she is on the Pacific Coast, which is another reason I wanted to order something from her, because I'm on the Atlantic coast and it's literally the other side of the country, and I just think it's so fun to order something like that from the other side of the world, it feels like to me. She just used some beautiful coral paint and did squiggles and then stamped a snail. And I'm like, that is brilliant. Why don't I think of these things? Here is, this looks like an 80s sheet that she's cut into a heart, and then I love this little pink trim. Here's some more of that trim from the table runner, I think it is. And then she's done decorative stitching here. This looks like a children's English book. Some sort of interesting diamond graph paper, and then she has a cluster with fabric and things, and another sheet, looks like. Oh, sketching for CAD. Okay, I wrote her after I bought this journal and asked how she did this. This is yellow paper that she stamped. I think she made the stamp with rubber. She stamped giant white daisies on them, and they have relief to them. And I would love to do that. I just don't know how to do it. But inspiration right in front of me. Maybe I can figure it out. A piece of fabric with some more zigzag. Look at this. This is matching perfectly, is it not? The center is maybe a, it is not in English. It looks like maybe French, but it's like an atlas index or something. And then a little cluster, a fabric tab. This looks like striped seam binding. I love how much of this is throughout this book. There's more stamped pieces. This is just a torn out sheet of maybe an embroidery book. Here's another ruffle made of a sheet, but she's sewn. She has, it looks like, ironed the ruffles down, and she's sewn on one edge of it, which is brilliant. Love that. Music sheet with more fabric. Here's the other half of the bag. I think this is the same bag. And I wish I could put this in my retail journal. This is a shop window. And then a little kid in a textbook probably turning on the window air unit. I love this page. I want to say this is from a Better Homes and Gardens like children's or youth cookbook. Or it could be the Jello, Joys of Jello book. Maybe that's what it is because it does say Jello. The 70s Joys of Jello book is one of my favorite books in my collection. I love it. And this is a piece of gingham with orange lace over it. Isn't that pretty? Just a little girl in a swimsuit. Here is a little tiny pocket and then a little card with daffodils and a cluster. Okay, this is glued on and it flips up. There's nothing in it, but it's another envelope. Another one with shops. Vintage retail shops. And then, so there was something in here, but I remember taking it out and using it in another journal at some point. This is beautiful. Beautiful vintage gift wrap. This is the kind that's thick and it's not shiny. Here's some more of the daisies you can see. A French, oh yeah, Chopin piano piece. This is amazing. This is splattered, just, you know, textured acrylic, and she's glued one side down and it folds out. A calendar page. And another little flip pad with some dyed paper and a stamp. This is an envelope and she's done a little stamp cluster. And a little pink inked tag. Here's another little flip sheet with yellow. To the max. I don't know what that is, but it's really cool. It's like some sort of letterhead, maybe. Love it. And this looks like the front of a magazine or a brochure, and she's turned it into a belly band. It's maybe a master board, because I see other things on here. And another postcard. Look at the bunny. Love this color combo. Oh, this is more of that sheet fabric. This is fun. It's a brayered book page with some stamping on top. Both sides are decorated, but in opposite colorways. That's cool. And I love that. I just love this. They're so delicate and feminine, the colors. Little Las Vegas playing card. I don't have any like this either. Well, I have one now in here. Little envelope with a little bird. She's like getting all the animals off this fabric and putting one on each cluster. So cool. This is a piece of embroidery and she's done a little, this could technically probably be a tuck spot because it's sewn on the corners. Little frog. This is just a little folded, dyed stationery sheet. 2 playing cards. I actually do have some of these, but these are in much better shape. Mine are super scratched. They were played a lot, I guess. Another calendar page with the coloring of a squirrel or chipmunk. That's a chipmunk, isn't it? Love this. All right, that was the first of 3 signatures. I love how fluid this book is. You can literally, like, it's like a pillow almost. You can just maneuver it however you like to put it in your lap or on your table. She's used the star or snowflake sewing pattern or sewing stitch. And here's some more of that Care Bears. This flips up. Oh my goodness, beautiful cake in the colors that match the journal. Beautiful. Another flip pad. Receipt. And 2 more of those cards. Look at this rickrack with the gold and the pink. This looks like a subway map. And, oh, a little bridge score sheet. Look at this. This is one of my favorite things in the whole book. She cut hearts out of this pastel stripe fabric and just sewed them down. This is a Reader's Digest book page, I think. And then tucked in here, we have a little Holly Hobby looking playing card. And I think these are 2 separate pockets. Yeah, she's got glue in the center. So on this side is tulips. I probably took something out of that too. Who else pilfers journals for other journals? I do that. Sunflower tuck spot. Oh, look at this 80 stationery. Is this not fun? I forgot this was in here. 1958 and 65. That may be 60 stationery then. So cute. Little Woodstock. I listened to Woodstock's song yesterday. Little Birdie. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I want to say it's in the Thanksgiving special. Here's the flip. And blue seam binding. She just uses it as a page decoration. Ooh, peaches. P.S. I love you, Palm Springs, California. See, I don't find these where I live, so that's cool. Look at this little dress and a button cluster on this envelope. I don't know what kind of envelope these are, but they're adorable. Dotson playing card. Look at the little nugget. And then here is more of those beautiful hearts. I would have a whole box of those if I could. Love that. This is like a calendar, maybe. Maybe. Chocolate desserts. I did not know this was in here, but when I saw that it was, I was like, yeah, this was definitely made for me. Little bag. I love the stripe. And then a hem, you know, the little hem facing thing. And we have a star shaped on both sides, paper clip. And then this is another large flip pad. Even like the look of the little tiny embroidery right there. Little pig and duck. I love this cluster with a sticker on top. Vintage wrapping paper pocket, and then some beautiful hand, you know, like edible gift label stickers, I guess you would say. This flips up and this flips down. Little kid turning on the TV, just came in from the cold. I took something out of this pocket too. Guilty. Another seam binding, and here's a belly band with a beautiful image. She just tears images out that she likes. I do that too, and I just put them in a box. I'm gonna find ways to use them eventually. Oh yeah, this is definitely from the Jello book. And then it looks like maybe Jello dyed paper. We can imagine. Pink and yellow. I like her pink shirt. This is a really large, fun journaling card. I don't know what that is, but it's cool. Looks like maybe a children's reader, maybe. She glued a, looks like maybe a vintage toy catalog picture. And then, what is this? Geese. Pretty. Another sheet. And two more of these little, it must be children using electronic things. So she's got an elevator button maybe, and he's closing the refrigerator after getting out some Coke. And then one more coloring page. And in the back here, she just tucked these. At the time, I did not have any work baskets. So she just tucked these work baskets like little free gifts from the 80s. I love it. So tell me what you guys thought of that one. I'm smitten with it. I love it. Last but definitely not least is a journal that I received from a dear sweet friend and viewer of my channel. She made it just for me, as you can see. She has my name on it. She made a necklace for this paper doll. I have never seen this kind of paper doll. It's very thick, like almost like a puzzle piece. And she has beautiful orangey red hair. And it's tied with Swiss dot, which is one of my favorite fabrics. And my favorite color is yellow. So there's a lot of yellow in here. And it's like a painted book cover that she put lace over. So, okay, she gave this to me officially to celebrate 3,000 subscribers. But, yes. Cindy is amazing. She's extremely creative, makes journals for family and friends, but she is such an encourager and just an awesome lady. So thank you again, Cindy. I'm going to flip through this again with renewed thankfulness for it. She spelled my name with playing cards and named this Meg's Mini Mostly Yellow Junk Journal. And it's a little tiny 3-ring binder, so I'm assuming it was like a photo book or something. And then we have Holly Hobby wrapping paper. And this adorable little playing card. And this book page with these kids playing in the rain. And here is a church made out of hymn pages, which I think is one of the most creative things in the whole world. And this is actually, I don't think I said this the first time, Cindy, but this hymn is a song that my mom and dad used to sing together as a duet in church. I remember it so well. They would practice and practice and practice at home. My mom would play piano, my dad would play guitar, and then they would sing it at church for special music sometimes. And here's a yellow house. I just love it. It's on textured dot paper. And here's a little tiny coin envelope with this cool sticker. It's really cool. It's kind of like, it feels like dried hot glue. I don't know what it is, but there's a flower inside of it. And then this awesome 70s velvet trim and felt flowers. So she has red hair like me, but Cindy also knows that I just love the 70s. I love the 80s too, and the 60s, but I feel like 70s is my decade because it's the decade I was born. And then this lemon dangle is so precious. And then in here, I think is some lemon stuff, recipes. I think I said this before, but my husband was born in Shelby, which is cool. I need to make some of this. So I love lemon desserts. I'm not a huge fruit dessert person at all. Like, if there's apple pie for dessert, I will probably not eat it. I know, don't unsubscribe from me, please. I've never been a huge fruit person, but lemon is the one dessert. If there's no chocolate, but there's lemon, I'm going to eat the lemon. And I probably talked about this when I went through this book. Lemon desserts are my favorite thing in the summer, and when winter gets here, it's something I like to make me think about summer. This is one of my favorite pages. She has created this little 3D sort of interactive bedroom in a way, and then she's got some ads for sheets and towels here. Just love this. See? Like, it's amazing. So creative. And here's some fondue. This is one of my husband's favorite sandwiches. That looks like a Monte Cristo. I don't know. Monte Cristos have powdered sugar on top, but it looks like maybe they're starting a Monte Cristo and they're serving it with vegetable soup. I see that okra. I love okra. And then we have a crock pot. That's sort of a pocket. And I don't know why there's a paper clip. I must have taken something out of it. And we've got a crock pot cookbook brochure cover. This is one of my favorite children's books, even though it's slightly interesting if you've ever read it. A lot of weird things happen in the story, but I just love the colors. I love the artwork. The pen and ink with the very select primary colors on top is like my favorite. Love that. She knows I love giraffes. This is before I made my giraffe journal, but oh my goodness, this page is so fun. Look at this. Look at this. The trims are like giraffe colors. Here's a Valentine. And then she knows I love the ginghams. They're very Holly Hobby-esque. They incorporated some boys because Holly Hobby really didn't, I don't think. And I love the ginghams. I played with ginghams, paper dolls, and color forms growing up. And then I have a ginghams little golden book that I'm going to make for a personal journal at some point. She knows I like Gyo Fujikawa. That is my favorite illustrator. And she made me a page with her art, which if you didn't already have this in your collection, Cindy, if you bought this just for this journal, thank you, because they are not easy to find and they're not cheap. I hope you already had it in your collection. And then this is Jacquard. And she's put some more of her pen and inks on this side. A beautiful, beautiful postulette. And look at this little crow. She's put on this tree. She's kind of redheaded too, isn't she? And this is a greeting card. Love it. And she's got this gorgeous die cut on the back. I mean, absolutely stunning. You'll have to tell me if you cut this yourself, Cindy. That's so pretty. And then this also a pocket, I think. Yeah. We have a little bird page and a little stamp about faith. And appliques of butterflies. This is some sort of ad for a floral company, and I love it. Beautiful image here, very Art Deco. Chopin is my favorite pianist, favorite composer of piano music. Typing paper. Love this so much. This is a very, very old doily. You can tell, like it's so brittle. And this is a little envelope that she has done a collage on. And then we have, oh my gosh, so many cute things. This cute image, I wonder where this is from. Greeting card, I bet. And a little label. Seed label, maybe. What is this? Oh, little card for Le Fleur. And then look at this. So fun. All these people popping up out of the yellow tulips. And then here's a check register that she's decorated. Here's an airmail envelope for the White Star Line, if y'all know what that is. And this is all about traveling. World cultures. There's Donald Duck. I have this book too, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've used some of the pages in a fall journal, but I'm keeping the rest. And then we have a Scotland page represented. Love this. Just going to admire this a minute. So cute. Some Gaelic. Keep on learning. So I love to learn. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. It's one of my life, I guess, mottos is never stop learning. And this is just a little cluster of flashcards. Oh, well, flashcards and playing cards. And then book plates. This is a Hebrew vocabulary. I'm serious. I think I asked you this before, but if you cut all these out and glued these down, that is amazing. That must have taken so much time. I love this. And then ephemera collecting plus writing equals junk journaling, which is what we do. And it's the most fun thing ever. Here's a fabric flip. There's several fabric flips in here. So she's got a lot of different 70s looking fabrics. Oh, and these are beautiful too. Oh, so pretty. Look at those ladies. I love how you use the background and then put them on top. Oh my goodness. This is inspiring me because I'm making some sewing ephemera this weekend. That is on my roster to do. And look at this belly band. I'm going to try this idea, Cindy, on a belly band for my sewing journals because that is brilliant. Love it. And then, oh, another sewing pattern lady in front of a tree. So, so brilliant. Like, so smart. And then here is the, so Cindy knows that the song that was #1 in America the day or the week I was born was Staying Alive. So this is a page dedicated to that. This page just makes me smile. These are all the 70s things. And then here's a game. She put a game in here, like a trivia game about the 70s and music from the 70s. So fun. And last but not least, strawberries. So I grew up with strawberry shortcake and still love her to this day and love everything strawberry. I do. I think it's one of the most cute prints and things you can decorate your house with. And last but not least is my grandma's favorite poet, Helen Steiner Rice. And this is amazing. So Cindy, I was about to cry again. Every time I go through this journal, I get misty-eyed. So thank you for this. Thank you for the inspiration. I'm going to leave this one out. Well, actually, both of these that I bought and was given as inspiration and ideas for making some sewing ephemera this weekend. I hope all of you guys are having a great week so far. I hope you gained some wonderful ideas from these journals that I shared today. I know I did. I'm uber inspired right now to go create. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you soon. Bye.